There are some very dark and even suggestively exciting and excitably dark things I can talk about when it comes to my idea of abstract philosophy and whatever I mean by that. I can express three examples of something that has nothing to do with this topic, and I'm going to tie that back to it anyways to make a point. There is there are firms and buildings that get repurposed into being different kinds of event organized places. People have seen things like this. You've seen like a some kind of a football stadium be repurposed to be an anime convention, and you've seen some kind of a church a church building be repurposed to be a school, which is kind of similar anyways, but kind of. But stuff like that. That's my first example that's irrelevant to this video. My second irrelevant example to this video is the idea that we can have a culture or society of people that have different beliefs based on how they can be more enticed by ideas and more enveloped by certain kinds of thinking schemes. That doesn't even make sense in itself, and that's my second example that's irrelevant to this video. My third irrelevant example to this video doesn't exist. That's my third example to this video. So here's what the topic is. I am not sure about how to explain things like duration fetish and pandidic sex, stuff like that. I mentioned in certain videos on this channel. The documentary I said one this is a title. I've talked about duration fetish in other ways, I think, maybe before. Here's what this video really is about. You're not supposed to connect all your ideas to something that can be recognized with a label. And what I mean by that is, if you really knew what you were talking or doing something about all the time, if you had an identity all the time, you would be limited by that identity, wouldn't you? You would only know it by what you were thinking or talking about or doing something about or even existing within or without. If it had to be recognized by a label, it would not have to be a thing. And that's one of my deeper philosophies, is like literally like the things that I could not connect to, the things I failed to communicate because I didn't see communication the same way as other people, the things I failed to cause results in because I didn't believe in the results the same way as other people did, and I didn't see a lot of things the same way. So it caused the disconnect in things that even caused disconnect in itself, and it's kind of its own chaos. Whenever I think of like creating a claymation that lasts like 2+ hours, and all it is just a character prop standing up right or standing still or sitting down, meditating for 2 hours straight, and it's just a claymation of that all by itself, an actual stop motion animation of just that. That's an irrelevant example of something that I'm still trying to talk about right now. I'm pretty sure some of you already know what I'm talking about right now in general. It's the idea that this new type starseed volunteer kind of thing, where you don't know what kind of impression you're going to make on the world, but you know it's there. You know there's something that you just get on the tip of your tongue. There's something you want to explain, but you don't know what it is, and you don't know if you're going to even do it the same way you just said you were going to do it as. So that's kind of sounds hypocritical, but it is, if you get what I mean by now. But that's this very frame idea that you want to be a hypocrite because you actually are solid on point with something. This is the weirdest. This is halfway, 50% how weird my philosophies and abstract philosophy can get. It is not nonsensical, I promise you that. But it's not vague, and there are even philosophies I had about vague stuff and non-examples and purposes and meanings of life, all this shit. But like it's literally like that. It's like the things I don't understand how to explain in general, but the things I also know how to kind of like imprint, because I know that even just imprinting them by suggesting them still makes a big difference. And I probably explain more than even I realize, but there you go. I was gonna end the video right there, but here's one more thing I can say. Basically anything you do, like in the extent of even being a Starseed volunteer or a new type or whatever, or a healer kind of person, or a whatever you can call an Earth Angel, whatever. However I characterize myself being, whatever at that point, if you want to believe that, or if I do already. The idea is that you already leave an impact on the world even without doing anything. Because everything you do or don't do, inactive or active, it leaves an imprint on the world that you can already make a difference with. By just these three irrelevant examples I didn't even make proper yet. By making suggesting a video topic that I probably didn't even put the title yet on this video. And by suggesting things that didn't even make sense at first or even at all for this whole video, even for people who understand how I think most of the time don't understand this. And I'm not even trying to confuse you. I'm not. That's how it is. It's not a vague example if I know what I'm talking about.